Crypto climb high, stock markets flip. Constant vigilance, don't let your grip slip. Echoes in the network, financial state. Futures being told by the index rate.
Greetings, friends. In this video, I want to show you a new indicator that is part of the Indexrate Code Index Algorithm Suite. After you have been granted access to this indicator, you will receive notifications in the Notifications section. You will see a window like this. Here it is advisable to read the text about how this indicator works. The text is presented in Russian and English. At the very bottom, you will have the Add to Favorites button. After you have added the indicator to your favorites, you will need to go to the Indicators section, then to the Favorites section. And a green lock will appear on it here. Click on it and add it to the chart. The Indexrate Code SM index is an indicator that is based on the concept of smart money. Smart money is large market participants with sufficient volumes to influence the price. This is a small group that includes banks and large funds. Their every movement is controlled to the smallest detail. In the modern world, this is done with the help of artificial intelligence technology and other complex algorithms that move the price by certain values. Smart money is following the major market participants. With this concept and its tools, you will be able to identify and track the actions of smart money. And as long as there is liquidity in the market, until then the concept will be effective in application. The Indexrate Code Index indicator consists of various elements displayed on the chart. First of all, these are areas of interest for sellers or buyers. That is, bears or bulls. They are highlighted either in blue or gray. The fair value zone is also displayed on the indicator. It is highlighted in yellow. The indicator identifies the previous daily high and the previous daily low with white lines, regardless of the time frame that you use. And in addition to the areas of interest of bulls and bears on a global scale, the indicator determines the local levels, where the greatest liquidity of buyers and sellers is concentrated. That is, bears and bulls. In the indicator settings, you can see the time structure, that is, for what period of time the algorithm will be calculated, as well as the number of displayed order blocks. Also in the settings, you can change the color of the zone of interest, the color of the fair value, and also the color of the previous daily high and the previous daily low. It is especially convenient if you use a light theme. In order to give the greatest accuracy to the displayed signals, an algorithm from the Indexrate Code A index is integrated into the indicator, the sequencing algorithm. In this field, by setting the value, you determine which candle the signal can be on. If the value is 2, it means that the signal will not be displayed on the third candle. By default, the display of sequence elements is disabled because it is duplicated with the Indexrate Code A indicator, but it can be turned on. In addition to the sequencing algorithm, the Indexrate Code A algorithm SM trend, already known by the indicator, is integrated into the indicator. It is also disabled by default, but it can be enabled. By adjusting the parameters of the sequence and SM trend, you can increase the accuracy of the signal. Let's see how these signals look on the chart. Signals in long are highlighted with green dots. Short signals are highlighted with red dots. The Indexrate Code SM indicator, in addition to the signals issued, also allows you to additionally determine the zones of the greatest liquidity on the part of sellers, and the zones of the greatest liquidity on the part of buyers, as well as the zone of fair value. As a rule, the price moves from these zones. The point is that if the price reaches the zone of interest of the bulls, then there is a potential probability that it will either bounce or break through this zone. When this zone is breached, a signal appears. Also, If we talk about the local area of interest of sellers and buyers, which are highlighted by burr and bool, then the price, as a rule, rebounds to a greater extent from here, after which it can move to breakout. If this algorithm is used in a set, as expected, with the RAID code index indicators, then you can see both additional signals to enter a position and price movement in the market. Now on the chart, we see the village and buy signals from the RAID code index indicator HEY, as well as signals from the RAID code index indicator C. If the signals are duplicated, as in this place, then we can potentially see a good price movement. The set of algorithms for the RAID code index should be considered in aggregate. These algorithms are based on market trends and impulses. It is also important to track the grid of curves and EMA ribbon. If the grid is located at the bottom of the candlestick chart, the potential local trend is long. If the grid of curves is on top, it is potentially a local short trend. The intersection of the curves is mainly the 50th orange curve and the 100th, as well as the 200th. Tell us about the golden crosses and death crosses. If the faster curve intersects the slower one, it is the cross of death from top to bottom. If a faster curve crosses a slower one from the bottom up, this is a golden cross. Trend algorithms parabolic SAR, trend Ashim, as well as the Indexrate Code by trend fast broken curve, as well as the difference moment orange curve, tell us about the price movement. If these waves move in different directions, we have a potential lateral movement. The long and short zones are additionally indicated in the trend score trend algorithm. Gray is the seller's zone, blue is the buyer's zone. Also, the money flow algorithm shows us at what stage the price is now. Pulse momentum indicator, purple ribbon, shows us the momentum from top to bottom, or bottom to top, long or short. And the zone of undervaluation or overvaluation of an asset is shown to us by a stochastic RSA. Green and red curve. Also, the buy code, as you remember from the previous review of the set of algorithms. The RAID code index shows us crossover signals either with a cross or a diamond. The rhombus means a deeper zone of momentum, the area is less deep. As we can see now on the chart, we have a corrective movement, since the grid and May ribbon are at the bottom. But there is a hint of a U-turn. Look, the 13th IMA, the green curve, is trying to cross the slower 25th IMA, the purple curve. This is not a strong signal, so I'm saying that we have a local corrective movement. The price did not stay in the fair value zone and is now drawing a bearish candle and testing the upper boundary of the bullish liquidity zone. If the price manages to stay here, the price will go to test the previous daily high with the next movement. If not, then the price will try to block this large liquidity to the local zone of interest of the bulls. The previous daily low is also consolidated here. While there is no signal on the chart, either from the Indexrate Code A or from the indicator Indexrate Code C, there is only one crossover signal Indexrate Code B. Also, the buy code tells us that we are moving from the overvalued zone to the undervalued zone of the asset, according to the stochastic RSI. The trend algorithm, trend, quickly goes into the bear zone, and also waves of differentiation move from top to bottom. In the bearish cash flow, the momentum wave itself is in shorts. In order to fully evaluate how this set of algorithms works, let's look at it on a second time frame. I would also like to draw your attention to the fact that the entire set of algorithms works on the High-Cow graph. Look here how the price moved. We received a signal, drew a small area of interest for the bears, and moved down. The grid of curves was on top of the graph. An additional confirmation of the signal from the Indexrate Code SM indicator is the crossover on the Indexrate Code B indicator. either on the signal candle or on the previous candle. The price is moving in an attempt to block the zones of interest, either bouncing off them or moving into the fair value zone. Additionally, the RAID code by index draws signals to us in order to understand the probability of price movement: bullish crossover, bullish cash flow, bullish stochastic RSI. So they moved up to the fair value zone. There was a signal from the Indexrate Code A indicator. All curves are in bullish dynamics. Now the price is trying to reach the bear's zone of interest. It is also worth noting that after the breakthrough of any of the zones, an additional test is possible. It's worth watching the traffic from here. If the fair zone breaks through, the movement to long is stopped. If there is a rebound and a new liquidity zone is drawn, then the upward movement will continue. A rebound is more likely from this zone, but if there is a breakout, the price will go higher, possibly up to the next area of interest. There was a rebound. We have received a short signal. We are additionally testing the zone of interest. The short is confirmed. Notice how the curves move. They draw a U-turn and start drawing either death crosses if we move down or golden crosses if we move up. It is also worth carefully monitoring how the noise trend is moving. It shows the strength of the trend. If red, the trend is bearish; if white, there is cooling; if green, the trend of custom. Also pay attention. I said that it is necessary to check the confirmation for the RAID code by index on the current candle of the signal, or on the previous one after the RAID code SM index signal. There were no such signals here. The confirmation was much earlier. We are trying to form a new liquidity zone. Fair value zone test. Zone breakout. And the price moves back to fair value. The set of algorithms Indexrate Code can be used not only with the help of settings, but also for visual display of market movement. The grid of curves is at the top, the price moves down and covers the area of interest of the bulls. A new level of local bullish interest is being formed here, from where the rebound occurs, to the grid of curves or to the fair value zone. Since the new liquidity of bears was drawn, the price moved down. The bull zone was blocked by a strong inertial movement of the sequencing algorithm. There are flashes of bearish trends. The price moved to collect the liquidity zone. A small rebound from the zone, as a rule. And while the grid and May ribbon are at the top, and there are no intersections, there may be a second attempt to collect bullish liquidity. A small local bearish liquidity was drawn on the chart, and the attempt was successful. Thus, even without confirmed signals with a set of algorithms of the Indexrate Code kit, it is possible to potentially determine the greatest probabilities of price movement from the zone of interest of bears to the zone of interest of bulls, as well as to the zone of fair value. The signals serve as an additional confirmation. The Indexrate Code's SM indicator, as well as all indicators of the set of algorithms, the Indexrate Code, has the ability to set a notification to receive signals, either separately on the long or separately on the short, or either of the two signals. One of the greatest traders of the early 20th century said that there is only one thing that cannot lie in this world, and only because he does not know how to do it. It's math. However, it should be borne in mind that no set of algorithms can guarantee a 100% probability of price movement in one direction or the other. But at the same time, mathematical calculations of the market movement, and the formulas embedded in them allow us to determine the percentage of probability of such a movement. A signal from the Indexrate Code SM indicator appeared on the chart, and we see it's working out. At the same time, it is worth paying attention that the signal appears after the candle closes. That is, in fact, you will see it already on the next candle. In my trades, I focus on the closing price of the previous candle. At the same time, using the Heikin-Ashi chart, it is necessary to set the display of the real cost on the right side of the chart. In the settings, since the Heikin-Ashi chart smooths out the price movement and gives a distorted view of the real value of the asset that you are trading, I try to open a position either at or below the close of the previous candle in order to exclude entry into the transaction at the maximum values. This reduces the risk of a losing trade to at least no loss. The index of the CM RAID codes drew a signal to us. The short movement continued. I sincerely hope that the set of algorithms Indexrate Code will allow you to make the market warmer. I wish you all successful trades. Well, Gosha was with you, the RAID channel. Thank you all, and see you again.
Echoes in the network financial state. Futures being told by the index rate. Not a social text but take. Index rate, the numbers.